expect Trey to have 38, he had 39. So unbelievable, special kid. You know, he loves that moment, loves the end of the game, loves the end of the shot clock. You know, it's nice to have a guy that appreciates and likes the moment and wants it. Don't know if we can win a lot of games shooting off the glass threes, but we'll take it tonight. Gritty effort by our guys. You know, I just told them the two numbers that were most important on the stat sheet were 35.4 and 16.1, and that was the field goal percentage defense. It's the thing we've been knocked on, and it's the thing we have to take the most pride in. Our offense will get better, but keeping two teams under 100 or less is big for us to start the season.
First off, Coach, congrats on the win. But on the concerning end of things, you have to be a little concerned about your team only getting to the line a combined 15 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You got to look deeper than just the number. You know, we had 60 points in the paint, so they're obviously letting us get to the rim. And if we're getting to the rim, we don't care about the free throws. So it's a balancing act. You know, there's games where we're going to get a lot of threes because they're going to crowd the paint, and it's hard to get downhill and get fouled when we're shooting threes. But we'll take 60 points in the paint against Orlando in their length any night. You know, we do want that attack mentality, but we got to find ways to score other times as well.
I remember after Detroit, you called it a mature win. What kind of composure did you see out of your guys when I think they're down by 5, like halfway through the fourth?
Well, there wasn't any panic. I took John and Trey out during that stretch because they both started the quarter, and we were going to need them to finish. And it's hard to play anyone 12 straight minutes. And that's a team effort to be able to take those two guys out, bring in some reserves, and just buy some minutes. And I thought the guys that were out there did a good job of not letting the game get away and us getting back into it. So it's the same. It's the same mature win, but it's a team win. It's really the buy-in aspect of, you know, we don't need heroes. We need everybody to buy in, and we need everybody to stay and impact the game when they're on the floor, and then we can finish with whoever's appropriate for that game. And tonight it was, you know, Vince, who hadn't played much in the second half, but I needed a steady, calming person on the court, and that's what he gave us.
Coach, it might not show in the box score, but Cam Reddish was very impactful in the game. Can you speak about his play and his contributions?
I thought he was really good attacking downhill. 2 or 3 of his baskets, I'm not sure what he finished with, but I know he had 2 good plays where he just attacked the rim. You know, they're going to blitz Trey, and we need other guys to handle the basketball. We need other guys to make plays. He was able to do that tonight. Kevin was pretty good in doing that. But that's really his role right now. You know, be an unbelievable defender. He's got to chase a lot of shooters, a lot of guards, and pick and rolls. But when he's on the offensive end, just make plays when they're there. We don't need him to force or rush anything. Just make plays that are there, and he did that tonight.
You mentioned Vince's play down the stretch of the game. I guess what in particular kind of allowed him to help turn that game for you?
Well, the biggest thing for us down the stretch is his leadership. You know, when we're in a lot of situations, 5-point game, we end up going up and taking the lead, and there's under 2 minutes. And so communication when they come out of a timeout, what they're running and what we're in, we need someone to organize the guys of what our defensive set is. He's the guy that will take the ball out of bounds if we have to get it in when we're up knowing they're going to foul, because I trust that he's got composure. We'll call a timeout at the 4 seconds. You know, we have to learn and groom a couple other guys, but right now he's the guy. So just having him on the floor for those type of situations are important.
Coach, I know it's early, but you've got back-to-back wins. You got the win at home. What does that mean for the team and the confidence going forward?
You know, obviously it's a lot of excitement for our guys to win the way we're doing it. And the focal point, everybody's heard how bad we were defensively last year, and for us to come out and have 2 great defensive efforts is the most important thing. Trey's playing exceptional right now. We got a bunch of guys contributing on both sides of the ball. For a young team to fill, we talked about how hard it is to win in the NBA in general, but to come out and have two wins and the type of wins that we had is important. For a home opener, I thought it was great. I thought our fans, you know, the place was packed, a lot of energy. It's what we wanted. We want to be able to play. We haven't played here in about 2.5 weeks since that first 2 games in preseason. So to have our fan base here and have it packed was really, you know, an exciting part for us.
Let's talk about the length of Orlando. You talk about obviously your philosophy always going downhill. How important was it for you to get rebounding from the guard position? Trae Young, 7 rebounds along DeAndre Brumley as well.
Well, that's a carryover from the Detroit game. And knowing that Vucevic and Gordon and Isaacs, those guys are crashing the glass, it's important for the guards to come back in. You know, Alex Lynn and Damian and Bruno, all those guys have their hands full. And so we need our guards to come in and kind of clean up on the glass. But that's big. We have to gang rebound. We want to get out and run. We can't do it if we don't rebound.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Jabari Parker's performance tonight?
You know, he's always going to be a guy that we can rely on to come in and score. He didn't score clean, but he scored. A lot of drop-offs, a lot of broken plays, and he's around the basket. He's got a knack for the basketball, and he's an unbelievable finisher. And sometimes they're clean, sometimes they're dirty. We just don't mind. We don't mind as long as they're going in. And he's just got a scoring mentality. We're going to play him with John. We're going to play him as a reserve to John. We're going to use him as appropriately as we can.
Did you see Kevin feel a little bit more comfortable out there tonight in his second game back?
Kevin Mutombo? Kevin Mutombo was good tonight. You know, big block, huge block for Kevin to get in there and really to play the game. You know, they're going to get an easy basket. I don't know if it was to tie it up or put them one possession down, but a huge block. He was definitely more comfortable on the offensive end. You can see him looking for a shot, you know, letting it go. We're going to try and use him a lot more in some pick and rolls. When they're blitzing Trae, he's a guy we can put the ball in his hands and still make plays for others in addition to himself. But he's getting his legs. You know, when you're out for as long as he's been out, conditioning is a factor. And so we moved him up to 20 minutes, and he got 20 minutes tonight just around. But his conditioning will increase with each game.
Coach, did you see what happened with Bruno, and do you have an update on his status?
I think they say he rolled his ankle, but I didn't see the play.
Do you have an update on him?
I don't. Yeah, I saw him. He had a little brace on, but I didn't. A little wrap on his foot, but I don't know if it's bad, swollen, or anything.
Coach, so Cam and DeAndre are obviously rookies, but what about their talent in their game allowed you to play them in a clutch situation in tonight's game?
Size, length. You know, they're both pretty good defenders in their own right in different ways. But when a team like that, they need threes, they need quick scores, and we're going to be switching, that's really where they're at their best, and that's where we're at our best as well. In the Detroit game, we're able to see both of those guys contest shots and alter shots. And when these guys need to score tonight at the end of the game, it's important to have length and versatility, especially on the perimeter. And we have two in both of the rookies, so it's good to have them and be able to do that. And they're going to gain game experience, which is most important for us right now, to be able to play in tight games down the stretch and to be in that moment so they can, you know, see when there's mistakes and they'll make mistakes, but also, you know, when they're on the right page, the same page, it helps their growth and their confidence defensively.
Back here, I know you said you weren't expecting to see 38 from Trae game one, obviously 39 tonight, but when you do look at him, do you see any differences in his game from last year to this year, and so what are?
Well, we all know last year, this time early in the season, he just wasn't, from the three, just wasn't making those shots. And because he is now, the lane just opens up even more. They got to chase him over screens. Last year at this time, they were going under everything. And so you end up taking ill-advised shots or forced shots or trying to create a hot check. Tonight, with Vucevic being down in the pick and rolls, his first couple shots were all floaters. And so he's getting in rhythm, just getting downhill, and he's getting floaters. Then eventually they gotta, you know, step their bigs up the floor, chase them over screens, and he gets going, hitting one of those threes. Now he pick his poison with getting downhill, shooting threes, the defense collapsing. He can make passes to the weak side. But I thought his first three shots were all in rhythm. They were all floaters. They were all in the paint. He was attacking downhill, and it just opens up everything for us. So nothing really different other than last year at this time. He just wasn't making the three. And so you don't have to defend him as high up the floor.
I think you allowed 5 turnovers in the first half, finished with 18. I guess what was the difference from your perspective?
Traps, blitz, you know, playing in a crowd. Some of the things that occurred in the preseason. We were up in the third. I think we went up about 11. And so they turned their pressure up. They started to blitz. They weren't back down as they were in the first half. And so with that pressure, with that length, that's where they're at their best defensively, and they got to us a little bit. So it's still, you know, we have a long way to go to correct. And you know, one of the things with Trae, because he's the guy that's being blitzed a lot, using the retreats and spacing and being able to get off the basketball quick. If we can open up the floor, we'll get a lot of different action for him. He scored a lot tonight on the second side when he was able to get off of it, get it back, and then attack. And it's harder to blitz on the second side of a lot of action.
Congratulations on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
Leading up to the game, you mentioned Orlando's size as something that could be a little challenging for the team. How do you feel like the kind of adjustments that you had to make, how do you feel like you did in those
Well,
games?
the biggest adjustment is keeping Isaacs out of anything we do offensively. He's just been a tough defender for all of our guys. Jabari didn't score clean tonight. John didn't score us, at his pace. And that's Jonathan Isaacs. He's probably an all-league defender in my opinion. And when he's in action, he disrupts everything. And so the adjustment was trying to get him out of, any part of action that anyone was involved in, not just John or Jabari, but just get him out of the way. And, I thought we did that in the first half. I thought it was hard to do in the second half. And then for some reason he wasn't down. He wasn't in the game at the end. But good for us.
Thanks, Coach.